Stoicism, a philosophy founded in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCE, remains a highly influential and practical way of thinking for modern life. Its teachings emphasize the importance of mastering one's own mind and focusing on cultivating virtues that allow individuals to live in harmony with nature and reason. Among its many insights, Stoicism stands out for its four central virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues form the very foundation of the Stoic worldview and serve as guiding principles for individuals seeking to navigate life with greater clarity, resilience, and peace. While Stoicism has its origins in ancient philosophy, its relevance extends well beyond the historical context in which it emerged. In a world filled with stress, conflict, and uncertainty, the Stoic virtues offer a practical blueprint for achieving mental tranquility and emotional balance. Rather than succumbing to external circumstances and reacting with impulsive emotions, the Stoic practitioner learns to focus on what is within their control, namely their thoughts, actions, and responses. On the Stoic Logic YouTube channel, we explore these very principles of Stoicism, helping you understand how to incorporate these timeless teachings into your daily life. Whether you're facing personal struggles, professional challenges, or simply seeking to live in accordance with your highest ideals, the Stoic virtues can serve as reliable tools for personal growth and inner peace. In this exploration, we will examine each of the four Stoic virtues in detail, focusing on their practical applications in modern life. By providing concrete examples of how these principles can be applied, we aim to demonstrate that Stoicism is not just an intellectual pursuit, but a way of life that can help individuals lead more meaningful, fulfilling, and virtuous lives. 1. Wisdom, practical applications. Understanding the essence of wisdom. Wisdom, in the Stoic context, is more than just knowledge or intelligence. It is the ability to perceive things clearly, to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, and to act in accordance with reason and virtue. A Stoic wise person does not rely on external rewards or outcomes for happiness, but seeks to cultivate an inner understanding of what is truly important. Wisdom involves the continual practice of self-reflection, critical thinking, and emotional regulation. Part 1. Decision-making. The role of wisdom in everyday choices. In everyday life, we face a multitude of decisions, some of which are small and others that are life-changing. The Stoic application of wisdom involves making choices that are in alignment with reason, virtue, and the greater good, not simply based on short-term desires or emotions. For instance, let's consider a situation where you are offered a job promotion that requires you to relocate to a city where you have no personal connections. On the surface, the promotion offers financial benefits and prestige, but it also requires sacrificing the quality of life you currently enjoy. Wisdom, in this case, helps you weigh the long-term implications of such a decision. You ask yourself questions like, how will this decision affect my mental well-being? Or, does this promotion align with my values of community, personal growth, and work-life balance? By reflecting deeply and looking beyond the immediate rewards, you are able to make a decision that reflects both your external goals and internal peace. On 2. Emotional intelligence and self-reflection. The Stoic concept of wisdom also involves mastering one's emotional responses to external events. Emotions such as anger, fear, or frustration are natural, but they do not need to dictate our actions. The Stoic wise individual practices emotional regulation by observing their emotions with detachment and reflecting on their underlying causes. For example, you may feel frustrated by an argument with a close friend, rather than allowing that frustration to spiral into resentment or revenge. Wisdom teaches you to pause, reflect, and ask yourself, Why am I reacting this way? What am I truly upset about? With time, you learn that emotions are often triggered by judgments or beliefs, and through the practice of wisdom, you can challenge those judgments and choose how to respond more thoughtfully. Udan point 3. Wisdom in interpersonal relationships. Wisdom also plays a critical role in our interactions with others. Stoics believe that understanding human nature, both our own and that of others, leads to better communication and more harmonious relationships. By applying wisdom, we learn to be more empathetic, patient, and understanding. For instance, if a colleague at work is being uncooperative, wisdom encourages you to reflect on their potential reasons for this behavior. Perhaps they are experiencing personal challenges, feeling stressed, or are unsure of their own abilities. Rather than reacting with frustration or resentment, you can approach the situation with compassion, seek to understand their perspective, and find a way to collaborate effectively. This application of wisdom promotes healthier, more respectful relationships and reduces unnecessary conflict. 1.4. Wisdom in the face of adversity. Life inevitably presents challenges, and wisdom is essential when navigating these difficulties. In a moment of personal hardship, such as the loss of a loved one, a career setback, or a health issue, wisdom helps us maintain perspective. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control all aspects of our lives, we can control our response to them. Wisdom invites us to accept the reality of our circumstances with grace and understanding, acknowledging that suffering and adversity are part of the human experience. This mindset helps us face adversity without losing our sense of purpose or peace. And courage, practical applications. When facing fear with courage. Courage, in the Stoic sense, is not merely physical bravery. It encompasses mental and emotional fortitude in the face of fear, pain, or difficulty. Stoic courage involves standing firm in our values and principles, even when it is uncomfortable or challenging to do so. Take, for example, a person who is afraid of public speaking. The fear of judgment or failure may prevent them from taking on important speaking engagements, which could limit their personal and professional growth. Stoic courage, however, encourages the individual to confront this fear directly, recognizing that fear is a natural part of life. By preparing thoroughly, focusing on the purpose of the speech rather than on the potential for failure, and taking action despite the fear, they can overcome this challenge and grow stronger through the experience. Courage to stand for what is right. Courage also involves standing up for what is just and ethical, even when it may lead to personal discomfort or difficulty. This aspect of courage can be seen in everyday situations, such as witnessing an injustice at work, in a social setting, or within a community. Consider a scenario where you notice a colleague being treated unfairly by your boss. The courageous response would not be to remain silent out of fear of reprisal or discomfort, but to speak out against the injustice. By applying Stoic courage, you understand that doing what is right, regardless of personal consequences, contributes to your integrity and the greater good. This type of courage promotes justice and fairness in society. Overcoming the fear of failure. Fear of failure is one of the most common obstacles that prevent individuals from pursuing their dreams and goals. Stoic courage teaches us to reframe failure, recognizing that setbacks are not final and do not define our worth. Take, for instance, a person who wishes to start their own business but is afraid of failure. The fear of making mistakes or losing money might prevent them from taking the first step. However, by applying Stoic courage, the individual recognizes that failure is a natural part of the learning process, and that the true measure of success lies not in avoiding failure, but in persevering despite it. This perspective allows them to take calculated risks and pursue their entrepreneurial aspirations with confidence. 2.4. Courage in facing mortality. Another critical application of courage in Stoic practice is confronting the reality of mortality. Stoics believe that acknowledging the inevitability of death helps individuals live more fully, with greater appreciation for the present moment. Rather than avoiding or fearing death, a Stoic embraces it as a natural part of life. When faced with the death of a loved one or the prospect of one's own mortality, courage allows us to approach these realities with acceptance and composure, using our limited time wisely to live virtuously and leave a meaningful legacy. 3. Justice, practical applications. Fairness and integrity in relationships. Justice is the virtue that involves treating others with fairness, respect, and compassion. In everyday interactions, we are called to act justly by being honest, equitable, and considerate of others' rights and dignity. For example, in a workplace environment, a manager who applies the principle of justice would treat all employees equally, ensuring that promotions, raises, and opportunities are given based on merit and contribution rather than favoritism or personal relationships. Justice also involves holding ourselves accountable to the same standards, ensuring that we are fair in our dealings with others and upholding integrity in all situations. Serving the greater good. Justice, in the Stoic sense, goes beyond individual fairness to encompass a commitment to the well-being of the community and society at large. Whether in our roles as citizens, family members, or colleagues, Stoic justice encourages us to contribute positively to the world. For instance, consider a person who works as a teacher and is passionate about providing equitable education for all students, regardless of their background. By applying Stoic justice, they dedicate themselves to creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment, ensuring that every student has access to the tools and opportunities they need to succeed. This is an example of using one's position and influence for the greater good, guided by a sense of justice. 3.3. Practicing empathy and understanding. Justice also requires the ability to empathize with others, to understand their experiences, and to treat them with compassion. For example, if you encounter someone who is struggling with mental health issues, Stoic justice urges you to avoid judgment and to approach them with kindness and empathy. Recognizing that we all face our own struggles, a Stoic would act in ways that promote the well-being of others, offering support or assistance when needed. This type of justice is grounded in the understanding that we are all part of a shared human experience, and by acting justly, we contribute to a more compassionate and equitable world. 3.4. Justice in the face of adversity. Sometimes, justice requires standing up for what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. Consider a situation where you witness someone being discriminated against or treated unfairly. Stoic justice urges you to take action, even if doing so may put you at odds with others or result in personal sacrifice. This could involve speaking out against an unjust system, advocating for someone who is being marginalized, or working to change harmful societal norms. In these instances, justice is not passive, but requires active engagement and the willingness to endure hardship in pursuit of fairness. 4. Temperance. Practical applications expanded. Practicing self-control in consumption. Temperance is the virtue of self-control, moderation, and balance. It teaches us to avoid excess and to cultivate a harmonious relationship with our desires. In the modern world, where indulgence is often glorified, temperance serves as a counterbalance to overindulgence. For example, consider a person who enjoys eating out at restaurants. Temperance does not require them to abstain completely from this pleasure but to eat in moderation, recognizing when they have had enough rather than overeating for the sake of indulgence. By practicing temperance, they can enjoy the experience without harming their health or financial well-being. Emotional regulation and balance. Temperance extends beyond physical indulgence to emotional regulation as well. It teaches us to manage our emotional responses and maintain balance, even in difficult situations. For example, when faced with a stressful event. 4. Temperance, practical applications. Practicing self-control in consumption. Temperance is the virtue of self-control, moderation, and balance. It teaches us to avoid excess and to cultivate a harmonious relationship with our desires. In the modern world, where indulgence is often glorified, temperance serves as a counterbalance to overindulgence. For example, consider a person who enjoys eating out at restaurants. Temperance does not require them to abstain completely from this pleasure, but to eat in moderation, recognizing when they have had enough, rather than overeating for the sake of indulgence. By practicing temperance, they can enjoy the experience without harming their health or financial well-being. Emotional regulation and balance. Temperance extends beyond physical indulgence to emotional regulation as well. It teaches us to manage our emotional responses and maintain balance, even in difficult situations. For example, when faced with a stressful event, such as an argument with a loved one or a challenging situation at work, a person practicing temperance will take a step back and reflect before reacting impulsively. Instead of allowing emotions like anger or frustration to dictate their behavior, they practice patience, calmness, and thoughtful responses. This helps to maintain harmony and preserve relationships, even in the face of conflict. Balancing ambition with contentment. Temperance also plays a key role in balancing ambition and contentment. In a society that often equates success with material wealth, status, and achievement, temperance encourages us to pursue our goals without becoming consumed by them. For example, consider an individual who is highly ambitious and working tirelessly to achieve their career goals. While ambition is a virtue, temperance reminds them to prioritize their health, relationships, and personal well-being. Instead of chasing endless success at the cost of everything else, they strive to create a balanced life where professional achievement and personal fulfillment coexist. 4.4. Developing long-term happiness. Temperance fosters long-term happiness by encouraging us to focus on what truly brings fulfillment. Rather than seeking momentary pleasures or fleeting distractions, temperance teaches us to invest in things that contribute to our overall well-being, such as relationships, health, learning, and personal growth. By cultivating moderation in all aspects of life, we learn to appreciate the simple joys and maintain a sense of peace and gratitude, regardless of external circumstances. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can continue to explore the transformative power of Stoic philosophy, applying it to our lives and rising above the challenges that come our way. Until next time, stay grounded, stay wise, and live with the strength of a Stoic.